Hello and welcome to Code Rhetoric with Tam Talk. I am your host, Tamara Abraham, also known as Coach Abraham. I am also the founder of Abraham Medical Coding Coach, LLC. So today we will be discussing several things, but to be honest with you all, I had something planned and I guess I could say God led me to speak on something else more pressing. And so I wanted to focus on that. So we'll be talking about remote coding, the good, the bad, as well as the ugly, which will also tie in with our Wellness Wednesday tip for today. So for those of you who don't know, I wrote a book back in the spring of 2019 entitled Remote Coding, Know the Requirements. And the reason why I wrote this book is to provide a little more insight to those who were interested in becoming a remote coder, or those who wanted to be a coder because they just truly wanted to be working remote. They want to be home. They want to work from home. And so I wanted to provide them with a little more insight on what remote coding entails. So let's see here, and I actually have the book here, so pardon me as I flip through it. So I, broke it down into different sections. For example, we talk about daily planning strategies because, some of us may believe or have been made to believe that working remote is just you're working remote. You log in a couple of times and then that's it. And you get paid for a full day's work. No, that's not what coding is. And that's not what remote coding is. I also speak on the resources, building your resources. What resources do you need to have? Unlike being in the office, there are resources that you need to have. You may have to build your own resources. I talked about quality assurance, knowing that your work will be audited, your work will be reviewed to ensure that you're meeting productivity, and you're also meeting the quality of coding that you're assigned to. And then the last one is self-development and growth. What do I need to do to evolve, to continue to develop my coding skills and to grow as a person? So the area that I want to talk about or to focus on today is the self-development and growth section. But we won't talk about all of it, but there's one particular area within that section that I want to go over with you, and that has to do with combating cabin fever. So here's the thing with combating cabin fever. You have to do something. And I know, especially with the pandemic, those of us who aren't accustomed to working remote, we've gone from working in an office setting or in a healthcare setting to working remote. And we weren't prepared. We weren't prepared for it. Some of us are excited about it. Others are not, because some of us are extroverts and some of us are introverts. And some of us are a little bit of both. And I would like to categorize myself with a little bit of both, but more so introvert. So one of the things, or the sprinkles, the stars, or the, I guess, how social media glamorizes remote work is by showing the freedom that you could have, by showing all the things you can do, the travel, all of that. And so we have envisioned in our mind that this is what we want. We want that. We want to be able to get up and work our own schedule. And for some cases it can be that, but for the most part, you still have to do the work. So one of the things for me, let me go back. So I've been working remote for, I'm going to say about 8 years now. I started off with 1 day, and then it progressed to like 2 days, then 3 days, then it just went totally full time. And And so the tips that I share are the things that I've experienced and notated in my book. I wanted to share with you. These things have helped me, and I'm hoping that they will help you, or at least provide us a start for you. But I want to focus on the cabin fever part. How do I combat cabin fever? How do I combat depression? So, several things that I do. The first thing I used to do is I used to travel. Well, since, of course, the pandemic, I can't do a whole lot of movement to other places like I used to. But I am still able to move locally. And what I mean by locally, maybe you may have to travel within the U.S. if you're in the U.S. or if you're in another country, you may have to travel within that particular area. I also exercise. I also pray. I also connect with friends, peers. So these are things that you're going to have to do. And if you were doing those things prior to the pandemic, you can still do them. You just have to do them with protocols now. But the one thing that I do is I always get out. I love going walking. I love exercising. Well, let me go back. I don't even want to sit here and tell y'all that. I enjoy walking. So, luckily, there is a park down the street from where I reside that I can go to and start walking. And I love it because I'm getting fresh air. I'm able to, perhaps I can meet up with friends there and we can have that conversation. Or I can walk solo. And it also provides me for mental clarity, especially as it relates to the different things that I'm doing. One with coding, and then with the coding business, what strategies do I need to take to move in a, to expand or to improve my current processes within my business. So that is my one-on-one time to brainstorm. And also that is, if you're a person of faith, that is also my time with God. Okay. I pray. I have that moment where I can hear from him, talk with him. He can talk to me. And so that's what I enjoy doing. You may have other things that you enjoy doing, and I would say implement those. Now, before the pandemic, I also would go to the gym. I didn't go consistently, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you a fib. I didn't go consistently, but I did go. When I felt the need that I need to get some sort of social interaction, I would go to the gym. There I would take perhaps like a group class. My favorite was the water aerobics. And then a friend of mine and I, this was years ago, we would actually do Zumba. Another thing that I also did was I would meet up with my friends. So some of my friends are coders and some of my friends are not coders, but they are all remote. So we would meet up every now and again. Some we would meet for breakfast. Others we would meet like for happy hour. Or again, we would meet at the gym. So we didn't do it all the time, but when either of us felt the need to get out, we would meet up. Or we'll send a text or, drop a phone call to do a check-in to see how we're doing. I had a colleague, well, not a colleague, a friend who worked remote that when she had a long day or whatever, or she saw her day was going awry, she would drop a text and it's like, is it happy hour yet? It's happy hour somewhere. So, but that was her way of doing a check-in. Like, I'm good. I need help. How are you doing? Motivate me, or I need to motivate you. So again, these are things that you need to implement, and you're able to, and depending on how comfortable you feel with your friends, or I would say even family, you may be able to have that opportunity to communicate some of your concerns with them. So present day, I am part of several groups, And so one thing that we do, we golf. We started golfing. So that's a dedicated day. Okay, I can go meet with them. I meet with my friends on this specific day at this specific time. And we have the opportunity to golf. I have others. We talk, we meet up for dinner. We meet up for lunch. And again, there are some times I want to be alone. And I just need to get out and not be on another individual schedule, but my own, and I get out. So that is something that you would have to implement for yourself. Now, I also know that there are others who may have experienced some form of depression or anxiety from working remote. I would recommend, again, reaching out to someone to share your concerns. And if you don't have anyone, in my book, I included the contact information for reaching out to the suicide hotline. And I'm hoping that you're not at that level or at that extent. But if so, please do not hesitate to reach out for help. So I'm going to share that number. So the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255. Again, that number is 1-800-273-8255. And the website is www.suicidepreventionlifeline.org. Again, that's www.suicidepreventionlifeline.org. So it's important that you maintain your sanity, you maintain your mental health. And that's part of self-growth, that's part of self-development. And sometimes we may be overwhelmed. Maybe we do have a lot of things going on that are keeping us busy, and perhaps we need a break. It is okay to take a break. It is okay to pause. It is okay to stop. It is okay to say, I just need that moment to myself. So one of the other things that I implemented for myself, I call it Saturday self-care. Or SelfCare Saturday. That is my time where it's just about me. I'm able to spoil myself. It's all about tea. It is my narcissistic day for myself. I have children, young and old. That's my time. That is my time for me to pamper myself, to love on myself. And so I can be a better person, a better coder, a better parent for my loved ones. And they get that. So what do? I may treat myself to breakfast, like go out and sit in like a little cafe or whatever and have breakfast. I may do lunch. I may go to the spa and get the works, the facial, the massage, all that. And I may go, and one of my other things that I enjoy doing is reading. Aside from reading coding books, I also enjoy reading. So I may do a drop-in at a bookstore. And, and then I go to the nail salon, and I love my nail salon because they serve wine. And, I am a wine connoisseur. At least I think I am. But you have to take time for yourself. You have to. You're not in a race with anyone. You're not competing with anyone. If you have to pause. If you have to deactivate social media, deactivate social media. If you have to just get in solitude, that's fine. But you have to do that. And so you have to make sure you're good. And again, this tip doesn't just apply to coding. This is anybody. Anyone who feel like they are, they just need that time to themselves, or perhaps you need that time to be around others. And I know, again, with the pandemic, because we have our children home, some of us have children, school and everything. And so we need to, we need a break. And that's fine. Especially for those who are already working from home and you're accustomed to a routine or you're accustomed to a schedule, and then to bring other individuals home to work. For example, maybe your spouse, maybe your kids, they're doing online learning. So that throws your routine off. So yeah, that can be very nerve-wracking and stressful as well. But do what you have to do to maintain your sanity, to maintain your peace, and also allow you to be that person that your family needs as well. So that was my wellness tip, which is, just taking time for yourself to make sure you're on point from a mental aspect. But again, because without the mental, if you're not on point, then everything else that I've written in this book about remote coding is gonna fall to the wayside, or you're not going to be your 100% self as a coder. So yes, so if you're interested in getting this book and reading up on the other tips or information that I have, again, the title of the book is called Remote Coding, Know the Requirements. This book can be purchased on Amazon. It can also be purchased on my website, and that is at www.abrahammedicalcodingcoach.llc.com. And one last reminder, tomorrow is October 1st. So what does that mean? That means the 2021 ICD-10 codes go into effect on tomorrow. Are you prepared? Are you ready? If you haven't purchased your 2021 ICD-10 books, I have downloaded the free 2021 coding guidelines as well as the new codes for 2021 on my website. So visit my website and click on the free resource tab, and you should see the 2021 coding tab, and you click on that to download it. That should tie you over, hopefully, and I'm knocking on wood, that should tie you over until you receive your 2021 coding book. Listen, it is imperative that you get your 2021 manuals. The dates have not changed. The date has always been October 1st. Now, I've received questions in regards to, should I get the package or should I just get the ICD-10 book? It all depends on your budget. Do keep in mind, if you do purchase the bundle or the package, do understand you're only going to get your 2021 ICD-10 manual first. You will receive your CPT book as well as your HCPCS book at a later date, and that'd be preferably closer to like the end of December, near the first part of January, because those codes go into effect January 1st. However, your ICD-10 codes go into effect on October 1st. So, again, if you haven't purchased it, do so today. And also click on my free resources to grab the download. All right, guys, that's all I have for the week. And I hope you all apply some of these tips. And I hope you all have a great week until next time. Be blessed.